8. Signs of heart attack. A month before you can't ignore. Many people believe that a heart attack arrives suddenly, striking without any warning. But in reality, your body almost always tries to send messages long before the moment of collapse. I have seen this time and again with patients who thought they were healthy until one day they were rushed to the hospital. The truth is that your heart begins to whisper. Distress signals weeks, sometimes even months, before a severe event takes place. The problem is that most people either do not notice them or dismiss them as ordinary tiredness, indigestion, or stress. Up to 80% of heart attacks could be avoided if these early signs were taken seriously and action was taken immediately. Today, I want to walk you through 8 important warnings that your heart may give you, often a month before a heart attack. Some seem harmless, but they are far from it. Ignoring them can be fatal, which is why I urge you to listen closely. By the end, I will also share practical steps you can take to reduce your risk and protect the most important muscle in your body. Let us begin with a symptom that is commonly misunderstood. Sign number 8. Indigestion or heartburn. Many people assume that a burning feeling in the chest is nothing more than acid reflux from a large meal, a spicy dish, or too much coffee. Yet sometimes that same burning sensation is not about the stomach at all. It may be your heart struggling to get enough blood. The difficulty is that the nerves of the heart and stomach are closely connected. This means that when your heart is in distress, your brain may interpret the pain as indigestion. For someone who has never experienced classic crushing chest pain, the signals may be subtle. Women, people with diabetes, and many older adults are more likely to feel this overlap. So how do you tell the difference if what feels like heartburn also comes with nausea, cold sweats, dizziness, or pain that spreads to your arms, jaw, or back? You must treat it as a possible heart warning. The discomfort may be mild, come and go, or feel just like bloating. But if it appears with other symptoms or feels unusual compared to your usual digestive upset, you cannot afford to ignore it. I once treated a woman in her late 60s who kept thinking her burning chest was reflux. She took antacids for weeks, yet her symptoms worsened. By the time she came in, she was on the edge of a heart attack. The lesson here is simple. When in doubt, get checked. It is far better to be told it is heartburn than to miss the early cry of your heart. Sign number 7. Unusual fatigue. Picture waking up after a full night of sleep, yet feeling more drained than before you went to bed. Even small chores like preparing breakfast, carrying groceries, or walking across the room seem like mountains to climb. Many people blame stress, aging, or just a busy lifestyle. But extreme fatigue that does not improve with rest can be your heart asking for help. This is not ordinary tiredness. That resolves with a nap. Instead, it lingers and often worsens over time. Patients describe it as a heaviness, almost like having the flu without the fever. The reason lies in circulation. When the heart cannot pump effectively, less oxygen reaches the muscles and brain. Your body diverts blood to critical organs, leaving your arms and legs weak and heavy. The longer this goes on, the more drained you feel even when you are inactive. I recall a man in his early 70s who came to my clinic saying, "Doctor, I cannot even fold laundry without needing to sit down." He thought it was just aging, Yet his fatigue was caused by reduced blood flow due to blocked arteries. Within weeks, he suffered a mild heart attack that could have been prevented if the exhaustion had been taken seriously. If you find yourself feeling wiped out for days or weeks without explanation, especially if daily activities suddenly feel impossible, consider it a warning. Your body is not simply tired. Your heart may be working overtime and failing to keep up. Sign number 6. Sleep disturbances. Many older adults blame restless nights on age or stress. But frequent sleep problems can also be an early red flag for the heart. You may find yourself lying awake, unable to drift off, waking several times during the night, or feeling unrefreshed even after hours in bed. Some people even wake suddenly gasping for air or with a pounding heartbeat. The connection between poor sleep and heart risk is powerful. When the heart struggles, blood pressure and oxygen levels fluctuate. Disturbing the deep rest your body depends on. One condition known as nocturnal hypoxia occurs when oxygen levels drop during sleep because the heart cannot circulate blood effectively. Your brain senses the lack of oxygen and triggers tiny awakenings, often without you realizing it, but leaving you exhausted the next day. Another factor is the nervous system. When arteries are narrowed and the heart is stressed, the nervous system can fire more adrenaline at night, causing sudden awakenings, vivid dreams, or a racing pulse. A patient I treated, Mrs. Hill, a 70-year-old retired teacher, complained that she kept waking at 2 in the morning, drenched in sweat. She thought it was hormones. In reality, her body was reacting to heart strain. Weeks later, she had a severe cardiac event. The point is simple. If your sleep is consistently poor, especially with unexplained awakenings, shortness of breath, or palpitations, do not dismiss it. Healthy sleep is vital for heart health. Sign number 5. Mild shortness of breath. Imagine climbing the stairs you have climbed for years. Only now you feel like you cannot catch your breath. Perhaps even simple conversations leave you winded. This is not just being out of shape. It may be your heart failing to pump enough blood. The lungs and heart work together closely. If the heart is weak, fluid can build up in the lungs, making it harder to breathe. At first, you may only notice it after exertion, but as the problem worsens, breathlessness can happen during light activity or even at rest. Some patients wake up at night gasping and have to sit upright just to breathe. A sign of pulmonary congestion caused by heart weakness. One gentleman in his late 60s told me he had to sleep propped up on 3 pillows or else he would wake up struggling for air. He assumed it was asthma. In truth, it was his heart. The danger is that mild breathlessness creeps up gradually. You may brush it off as aging, but each episode means your heart is not keeping up with the body's needs. If you find yourself unusually winded without clear reason, especially if it worsens over weeks, that is not normal aging. That is your heart asking for attention. Sign number 4. Pain or discomfort in the jaw or neck. Most people imagine a heart attack as severe pressure in the chest. But the truth is that your heart can send pain signals to other parts of the body. This is because the heart does not have pain receptors like the skin or muscles. Instead, when it struggles, it communicates through shared nerve pathways, particularly the vagus nerve, which can radiate discomfort to your jaw, throat, or neck. This makes the symptom easy to ignore or mislabel as a dental problem. arthritis, or even a sore throat. I recall a patient named Mr. Carl, 72 years old, who came to me complaining about a nagging ache in his jaw that his dentist could not explain. He was prescribed painkillers for what was assumed to be TMJ disorder, yet within 3 weeks he had a heart attack. The jaw pain had been an early sign. Unlike regular muscular pain, cardiac-related discomfort often appears suddenly, changes with activity, and may come and go unpredictably. If you feel jaw or neck pain that is unusual for you, especially if it worsens when you are physically active and improves with rest, that could indicate angina, which is a strong warning that your heart is not receiving enough blood. The danger lies in brushing it off as something minor. When paired with fatigue, dizziness, or sweating, this symptom should be treated with urgency. Sign number 3. Dizziness or lightheadedness. A sudden wave of dizziness can feel harmless, as if you stood up too fast or skipped a meal, but when your heart is compromised, dizziness may actually be a cry for help from your brain. Your brain needs a constant supply of oxygen-rich blood. If your heart is not pumping strongly enough, or if your blood vessels are narrowed, your brain may briefly lack oxygen, leading to dizziness, faintness, or even blackouts. Unlike the occasional lightheadedness from dehydration, heart-related dizziness often strikes without warning and can occur while you are sitting, standing, or even lying down. Patients describe it as feeling detached, like the ground is shifting beneath them or as if they are about to collapse. I had a patient, Mrs. Oliver, 68, who fainted while gardening. She assumed it was the heat, yet her tests showed significant blockage in her coronary arteries. The fainting spell had been a warning. When dizziness occurs repeatedly without an obvious explanation, or when it is paired with chest discomfort, weakness, or shortness of breath, it must not be dismissed. Each episode represents a potential failure of blood flow to the brain, and ignoring it could allow the situation to escalate to a full heart attack. Sign number 2. Pain in the upper back or shoulders? Many people dismiss back or shoulder pain as a sign of poor posture, muscle strain, or sleeping awkwardly. Yet for women, diabetics, and many older adults, upper back or shoulder pain is one of the most common and overlooked heart attack warnings. This pain is not usually sharp like an injury. Instead, it feels like a spreading tightness or heavy pressure across the back, between the shoulder blades, or radiating into the arms. The reason is that heart pain often radiates outward through nerves that affect different areas of the body. That means what feels like back discomfort may actually be your heart struggling. I remember a diabetic woman in her early 70s who complained of persistent shoulder blade pain. She had been treating it with heat pads and massage therapy. Believing it was muscular, a week later, she was admitted with a major cardiac event. The pain had been her heart the entire time. If you experience unexplained back or shoulder discomfort, particularly if it appears with activity and fades with rest, treat it seriously. It is not just muscle stiffness. It could be your heart's distress signal. Sign number 1. Mild chest discomfort that comes and goes. Perhaps the most deceptive warning of all is intermittent chest pressure, because it is not severe and does not last long. People often ignore it. Yet this is angina. a condition where the heart temporarily does not get enough oxygen due to narrowed arteries. At first, it may occur only during exertion, such as climbing stairs or lifting groceries. The discomfort eases when you rest, making it easy to dismiss. But as the blockage worsens, the pain begins to appear with lighter activity, and eventually, even while sitting still, angina may feel like heaviness, tightness, burning similar to heartburn, or even fullness in the chest. Sometimes it spreads to the arms, neck, jaw, or back. The problem is that people wait until the pain becomes severe, and by then the heart attack is already underway. I recall a patient, Mr. Dale, who ignored his mild chest heaviness for weeks. It always passed when he rested, so he assumed it was indigestion. One night, the pain did not go away, and he collapsed with a heart attack. The message is clear. Ava Milt, short-lived chest discomfort is not harmless. It is a flashing red light that must never be ignored. How to act before it is too late. Now that we have reviewed the 8 signs, it is important to understand that a heart attack does not arrive suddenly. It is the result of years of silent damage to the arteries and ignored signals from your body. The encouraging news is that you do have power to prevent it. Lifestyle changes, awareness, and medical care can literally save your life. Every meal is an opportunity to heal or harm your heart. Processed foods filled with sugar, salt, and trans fats speed up artery damage. Choosing whole foods, vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats such as olive oil and fish helps protect your heart instead of overloading it. Movement is not just about fitness. Your heart is a muscle, and like every muscle, it weakens when not used. Even 30 minutes of brisk walking a day can lower your risk. Sitting for long hours without moving allows blood to pool and arteries to stiffen. Stress is another silent threat. Constant stress raises blood pressure, inflames your arteries, and accelerates heart disease. Learning to calm your body through breathing exercises, gentle stretching, meditation, or simply taking breaks during the day can protect your heart as much as medication. Smoking and heavy alcohol use are toxic. Each cigarette damages your blood vessels, and alcohol, even in moderate amounts, can raise blood pressure and weaken your heart muscle. Quitting smoking today and keeping alcohol to a strict minimum could mean years of extra life. Finally, silent killers like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and diabetes must be checked regularly. If you do not measure them, you cannot manage them. Routine checkups allow doctors to catch changes early and adjust treatment before it is too late. The final message: a heart attack is not inevitable. Your future is shaped by the decisions you make today. If you listen to your body, respect the early signs, and act with intention, you can prevent disaster. Do not ignore indigestion that feels unusual, fatigue that does not improve, restless nights, breathlessness, jaw or neck pain, unexplained dizziness, back discomfort, or chest heaviness. These are not just nuisances. They are your heart's way of asking for help. Every choice matters. With each healthy meal, each walk, each calm breath, and each checkup to strengthen your heart and extend your life, you owe it to yourself and to the people who love you. Start now. Your heart has carried you faithfully for decades. Give it the care it deserves so it can carry you into the years ahead with strength, dignity, and vitality.